In a world where average women want above average men, or so the data shows, we tend to want to be persistent in the pursuit of a relationship. And this is pretty evident among Gen Z. We spend a lot of time with different types of people, and we know we want to find a partner, or the average person basically wants to. The issue with this sort of mindset is that we are consistently spending time on other people that may not be interested in us. And so it's important to recognize that early and maybe not waste your time on this sort of relationship that you're feeding into. Because being persistent does not necessarily mean that, you are always going to win in the end, or it doesn't mean that it will have a good outcome, right? So I want to talk about, I guess, focusing on women or men, however this applies to you, who are into you rather than people who always shrug away from the relationship, or maybe they're not interested, and trying to like consistently pursue somebody when you don't even know them, right? So let's talk about it. So one, there's this cultural script, and we all know this growing up. There's kind of this like value that we assign to a person, right? And so in scarcity bias, this is kind of like what it refers to, right? If we work hard to win somebody, then that relationship must be more valuable, right? It's scarce. Like this person is only the only person in the world. And if I'm able to, have a relationship with them, and it took me a lot longer to be able to do that. There's only this one person, so it must be pretty valuable, right? And that's not really how it works, right? A person should not have to consistently decode signals and solve a puzzle to be in a relationship, right? It should be very clear from the get go what this person is about and whether I like that or not, right? And so this kind of uncertainty that is associated with this value of a person kind of makes us want to be more attracted to them. And that's kind of like where attachment theory comes into play, right? Guys and girls alike are not really sure about hints, and like we kind of play these puzzles and it's less direct, right? In other cultures it might be different, but for the most part it's never really all that straightforward, which kind of makes sense, right? It's a good and a bad thing, right? We don't really know this person, we don't want to open up too much to them because we don't know enough information about it, so we have to feel it out, right? This can be a good and a bad thing because one, you can really tell really early on by just talking to this person, like any other person, without being persistent, without pursuing them, if you want to call it that, whether or not we're going to get along. Just like how you would find your friends, right? I know, let's say I like GTA 6, but this other guy, he says GTA 6 sucks. I'm probably not going to get along with him. I haven't played the game yet. Waiting for that to come out. But it's kind of how it goes, right? If your values are aligned and this person is, they are whatever it is that you want in a partner, they're attractive, they have money, um, personality, whatever, you're probably going to want to find somebody like that, but you might be persistent in other people that may not meet all of those standards. And I'm not saying that you should always have, all the all the boxes checked off and things like that. More so just considering, is it worth pursuing this opportunity right now for this person, given whatever you know about them? And so that kind of brings me to my next point of chasing, right? Chasing a person, and we have this sort of like rejection therapy whole thing going on right now. It's like basically where it becomes your identity that you consistently need the validation from another person, or want to be seen by other people. And so you're consistently asking just random people out, guys, girls, whatever it may be, so that you could have this opportunity and other people will see it. It's really like a social thing, right? It's like not that you want this person, but you want to be seen with this person, right? It's that value associated with them. Let's say like, oh, they've never had a boyfriend or girlfriend before, and you're like, and this person is like attractive or whatever, and you're like the first one, right? It's probably like, some value associated with it. Maybe they're popular, whatever it may be. You're not really thinking about the person in the moment. You're only thinking about the benefits that you kind of get out of this sort of relationship, right? You're not really thinking about it long term or stuff like that. And that's why guys typically who do this rejection therapy bullshit, sometimes it helps them get over like their fear of asking people out, which is good. But then consistently doing after that, once you're all said and done, is like a really bad thing. Is that they will spend most of their 20s wasting their time doing hookups, wasting their time talking to people that they have no really vested interest in. And come when they're in their 30s or something like that, it's all over. Like, you're pretty old, like you need to settle down, right? And so the idea here is that instead of asking, like, do I like this person, given whatever information, is that am I aligned with this person? Not, liking and being aligned with somebody's goals and values and stuff like that is two very different things. And obviously, we could say like we have like, emotions, we have physical appearance, we have, all this sort of other things that you might want to consider in it. But at the end of the day, I think it's more so, is this somebody that I want to be around for a long time? Regardless of, you know, do I like what their eyes look like or some shit like that. I don't know. It's I don't know. It seems like two very different things. And I watch Chris Williamson a lot. Check him out. Some of his videos, not necessarily on this topic, but kind of led me towards thinking about this a little bit more. Another thing is I mentioned scarcity bias already. Kind of jumped the gun on that, but there's two other things about fake masculinity, ego, and being persistent. So, I said, being persistent is basically just wasting time only after the point. If you have issues with approaching, if you have issues with talking to people, whether it be social pressure or whatever, after that point, once you have the hang of it, right, you have gotten over a fear or whatever it may be. After this point, it's basically wasting time. And so, once you have reached that sort of point, if you are in a relationship or something like that, you're basically just seeking validation and seeking affection, right? That validation turns into affection from other people. And now, basically, you have completed this circle, right? You have gotten this opportunity. It is a scarce one. And now you feel validated from the affection of other people. And it's justified because you have done the work. Instead of it, you actually caring about this affection people are giving to you, it's justified because you have done the work rather than actually receiving it because of the dynamic of your relationship and the things that you have done, right? And so it's kind of like that value associated sort of thing. I'm gonna go over here. So how do you find the right person? I don't know if there's any one answer to it, but this is how I kind of think about it, right? Make your values known and kind of be direct. I'm not saying like you have to like immediately like first thing, hey, I like you, cool. Go out? Question mark. Like that's realistically how things aren't really going to work out that way. There's not really much we can do to change this sort of dynamic that we have of decoding a puzzle. We could try to put it in a way that if this person makes it feel like a puzzle, probably not in your best interest. Although I would say most of the time I feel like it's going to be a puzzle. That's just kind of how things are. But if you make that interest that is received from this person, or how should I put this? You should make the interest that you vest in a person more clear when you do both of these things here that I've outlined, like just making it known and direct and doing something that is close to those. For example, if I really like cooking and I'm a chef, that is like my passion, maybe the first thing that I would consider is asking, do you want to go to a food truck stall? Or what do you know about cooking or something like that? Like something that you're interested in and passionate about. That's a really good sense. Like a hobby is a really good starting point, I think. And yeah, don't make it feel like a puzzle. And I kind of wrote down, I tried to summarize a lot of this sort of thing with the wisdom of Macho Man Randy Savage over here, is that if a man or woman spends years chasing unavailable people and he actively has to resist the impulse to devalue someone who's present and consistent, take that with what you will. I tried to summarize a lot of the bullet points and things that I have here into kind of like one sort of quote. And yeah, that's basically what I think about it. So yeah, interesting topic today. Uh, Not really something I think about too much, but yeah, like I said, Chris Williamson got me thinking about it. This guy over here, definitely check him out. Cool guy. Lots of different topics. But yeah, don't chase the running cat.